It's imperative to be knowledgeable about VA loans.
Right.
Those are my bread and butter. I can do those all day long. I do more VA loans than I do conventional loans.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing the ins and outs, okay, if they already have one VA loan in place, what does that mean for when they PCS to their next duty station?
Mm-hmm.
How much do they have left on their VA? What's the cap? Explain to them, okay, you're going to pay a percentage of the difference. So educate them on all of that so they can make a really informed decision. And I'll run numbers for them if they want to rent or if they want to sell.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the biggest blessing to me to be able to change their lives with the amount of money that they can get.
If you can't write a contract on the back of your car on a Saturday night, then you don't know enough. All you have to do is show up. Just show up and you can succeed. Let's get to the point.
The possibility, let's do it this way, of real estate for military spouses and how it could affect them. When I was in retail, we moved 18 times. I went to a job. My wife was alone, left alone with the kids to start over again. And I know the military spouses are in that all the time too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you pick up and you go to a town that you may not have ever been to, with people you don't know,
Right.
and you're starting from scratch each time.
So how could a military wife or spouse, it could be the husband too, because we have some of them. It isn't just one-sided on this. What advice would you give them with regard to getting into real estate, maybe in the location they're in?
So first and foremost, learn about the community.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're brand new somewhere, you don't even know, what streets that you're next to.
Right.
So learning about the community is huge, getting involved, getting plugged in to the community, because the fastest way that you're going to get business, honestly, is from a sphere. And when you don't have that sphere, that can be very challenging. So sometimes with, new agents or military spouses, kind of going back to the basics, maybe like open houses are good. But utilizing the connections that you'll make is really important. And you can do that. You can do that quickly because there are a lot of resources available to military spouses when they move. But taking advantage of those is huge.
Mm-hmm. So you said off camera when we were talking before this, you made a comment about having a full work day.
Yeah. So when I get up in the morning, I mean, now obviously I've got my son, so I'm getting him to school, and my workday starts. So I'm not just sitting around. I've got a game plan of what I'm going to accomplish that day. I live and breathe by my calendar. I even time block drive time from place to place to make sure that I'm not only going to be there on time, but have allowed enough time for things. But yeah, so I put in a full day every day. And I even get a little guilty when I play hooky or, if I have other plans, because I look at this as my career. This is my business that I'm in charge of. And it's up to me to deliver results for my clients. Real estate is great because you do have flexibility to make it what you want. But if this is something that, if you want to build a big business and a big life, you have to take that seriously.
And that's a big deal. So you have to earn the right to have your clients refer other people to you. And then I know you being...
Absolutely. That is not a guarantee. That is not a given. And we are not owed that.
Right.
No, that's why it's a huge compliment when you get those calls or text messages or Facebook messages like, hey, we've got orders, we're going to be leaving. What advice do you have? And then, it starts from there. It's a massive compliment to me. Wow. And being a military spouse, I can really relate to them when they're in those situations. So I'll run numbers for them too, both ways. Hey, if they're like, hey, we don't know if we should keep the house or we should sell it. Well, hey, let me run numbers for you so you can see in black and white and make the best decision for your family. Do you want to keep it and use it as an investment property? Are you going to cash flow on this thing? Are you, also be knowledgeable as a VA as a military spouse? It's imperative to be knowledgeable about VA loans.
Right.
Those are my bread and butter. I can do those all day long. I do more VA loans than I do conventional loans. So knowing the ins and outs, okay, if they already have one VA loan in place, what does that mean for when they PCS to their next duty station? How much do they have left on their VA? What's the cap? Explain to them, okay, you're going to pay a percentage of the difference. So educate them on all of that so they can make a really informed decision. And I'll run numbers for them if they want to rent or if they want to sell. And it is the biggest blessing to me to be able to change their lives with the amount of money that they can get, especially in this market. I mean, purchasing with a VA loan, you have a VA funding fee tacked onto that. So normally when a VA buyer purchases a home, you owe more on the house than what you paid for it when you close. So to be able to turn around and make people money in such a short amount of time, 2-3 years, is life-changing. I mean, the amounts that I was making people last year, between $100,000 and $200,000, when if they were living on base housing, they would be walking away with nothing. If they were renting, they would be walking away with nothing. The VA loan is a massive, massive, amazing benefit for people to utilize. And I look at it as an investment. And that's what I educate my buyers on. Hey, this very likely isn't going to be your forever home. And that's okay. Okay. So we won't always necessarily check all the boxes of buying your dream home or your forever home, but we're going to check the boxes of this being a fantastic rental or investment property for you. Whether you go to sell it or if you want to hold on to it, we're going to make sure that you have the flexibility to do either option when it comes time and the government says it's time to move. So educating them on all of that, so they can put themselves in a position to have generational wealth is something that I'm super passionate about.
Wow, I could tell.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Well, because so many people don't realize what's available to them, and it's incredible, and it's amazing to see the look on their faces when I run that net sheet and I'm sitting across them, and they're like, "Wait, I can make that amount of money when I sell my house?" Yeah. And all the opportunities are open to them of what they can do with that money and how it can change their lives.
So once you get, Callan, so once you in the military, you move. So you're saying that if you watch what you're doing, you can make a lot of money by purchasing real estate with a future vision.
Absolutely.
As opposed to what you said called base housing.
Yeah. I mean, because base housing is effectively, they're just taking all of your BAH, which is your housing allowance. So, so living off base, you are investing that money that the government gives you for housing. You have a separate allowance for that, and you are investing it into your own property, building your own equity, so that when it is time to leave, you're in a position to where you can either sell it, walk away with a profit, or hold on to it and use it as an investment property. And military spouses, I think, are so unique in the fact that we understand what that life entails and what those different, what can be thrown at you. And so military spouses that want to get into real estate, I say, use what you know, what you're passionate about, what you're educated about. When you come into a community, you may not know everything about that community right away, but what do you know? You know military life. You know those challenges. Yeah. You know what's going to happen and the steps that are involved in PCSing and, getting your orders and scheduling TMO, okay? Because that's something that you just went through. So use that knowledge to be able to help other families coming in and doing the same thing.
Wow, it's like getting a real estate license so you can get a degree in building wealth through real estate while being an agent.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's incredible. And they're incredible opportunities. And and I'm super passionate about helping, obviously, our military families and retirees and spouses, because I think there's so many opportunities that people aren't taking advantage of that are absolutely owed to them. And for our veterans, those benefits are there for them to take advantage of. And I'd love to see them do that.
Wow. Success leaves clues, and there's a reason why people are buying real estate through you, Callan. It's amazing.